Beautiful. Beautiful day. On one of the most beautiful public benches we've seen so far.
Absolutely.
Hello guys, it's Robin. Welcome to another Good Place episode. We're here in the center of The Hague at Noordeinde Palace. And today I have here Michiel. He is originally from Amsterdam, he just told me. Yes, and he lives in The Hague, and he runs some amazing initiatives, all related to also expats. So we're gonna today talk more about, to hear from him what a good place is, and we'll see where the conversation goes. Michiel, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for inviting us to this bench. Please introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about you.
My name is Michiel, 50 years old this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I run an English language newspaper called the Local Expat. I rent out properties for expats as well. Started my newspaper in 2007 after I worked for a local paper here in Scheveningen. And I saw there was a market for expats. No one jumped in before. So I started that in the Staatskwartier area, Archipel, Noorderhout, where you see a lot of expats working, living. So I tried it, and I remember quite well that I went to the municipality of The Hague to pitch my idea. And Willem Post, well-known person from television, said, a lot of people already tried that before. I wish you good luck, blah blah blah, but he didn't know that I was already working on it. So a month later I dropped my first issue on the desk of the expat center here in City Hall.
Yeah.
And he was like shocked, and he was like, okay. And it went up straight away, so really happy, and we're now in 2023 and it's still running.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's called the Local Expat.
Yeah.
And what's been the inspiration of the name for the?
I wanted to keep it local, of course, because in the neighborhoods here in The Hague. For example, in Amsterdam you have a lot of expats working as well and living, but all the areas are quite far apart from each other. And here in The Hague, everything is in walking distance. You walk from Archipel to the Staatskwartier, everything is like in a half an hour. So I wanted to keep it local.
And what's in the newspaper? What can people read or? Yeah,
we publish everything that there is to do for expats in The Hague. You see a lot of online on the websites of The Hague.
Mm-hmm.
They send me a lot of articles, and in these last 15 years that I run the paper, people know where to find you. So. They send me everything. Everything there is to do for expats, events, music, musea, everything. So all the subjects that I think are nice for my readers, I publish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a monthly publication.
It's monthly publication. I drop 10,000 copies every first week of the month. And they are distributed through the expat areas here in The Hague. Yeah.
And it's for free?
It's for free. Yeah, it's a newspaper they can pick up everywhere. And the nice thing about it is when they read it and they leave it behind somewhere else, it works a little bit for itself.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes my paper turns up on places that I don't even publish, so that's good. Yeah, so it works a little bit for itself, so that's good. Yeah.
And what's it's been almost more than a decade that you have this newspaper.
Yeah.
Because it was not there is an opportunity.
Yeah.
But you also see value in it, right? I mean, what is it you see as in value for the expats that you would like to share with them?
Yeah, I see that in my other business when I rent out properties. A lot of expats that come here, they don't know nothing about the city. They don't know where to go for schools for the children, where they find sport clubs, where they can go to in their free time during the weekend. What is nice to visit, all that stuff, and that's what I write about and publish, and that's a big value because they. Nowadays you can, of course, see everything online, but there's still people that like to read a newspaper with a cup of coffee on the terrace. Yeah. And
that's what you like as well. You said,
because that's a little moment for yourself, and then it's nice to read something where you can go to in the weekend or during the week with your children or your family or.
And have you also really connected with the expat community through your newspaper?
I think so, because I go to a lot of meetings, expat clubs, show my face there, speak with expats, what they do here. It's nice to hear. Nice to hear their stories as well. Yeah.
You almost sound like almost like an expat. I wouldn't say guru, but you know the expat community in The Hague quite well then.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, especially now that I also do my renting business. You see every step they take, it's a big plan when they come over here. What do they have to do for the first time? Finding a suitable home, where they want to live. A lot of expat families always first look on where the schools are for their children and then make a decision of where they want to live. So you learn a lot. Yeah, it's nice.
And would you say something has changed since you started the newspaper and we're now in 2023? Is that you see a change in expat, the type of expats, or I don't know, like?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. In the first 5 years, I think you saw a little bit more different nationalities. And nowadays, especially in the Staatskwartier, in my experience, I lived there for 10 years. You see a lot of French, American, Spanish, and before that period, you saw a lot more different nationalities. That's a big difference. Yeah.
It's probably because of the language schools as well, right? Or the French school and so on.
Yeah. We have the British schools here. We have a couple, French school, German school, and they're all in the Staatskwartier area and surroundings. So and I think that's a big difference. Yeah.
Well, and then a bit more about you. I think you also moved from Amsterdam to The Hague. And what was the main reason for you to move cities?
I was quite young when I moved from Amsterdam. I was, I think, 18 or 19. I had a girlfriend in Waddinxveen, a small village close to Gouda. So I moved there, worked in the restaurant business for a while. I was done with that because you were making a lot of hours. Then I said to my parents, I'm going to do something in a newspaper business. So they said, is that something for you? I know how to talk, I know how to sell, so I thought, no, I'm gonna give it a chance. And I started at the Postillon. It's a newspaper, I don't know if it still exists, but it was in, the office was in Pijnacker, and I was there with 10 young guys. All in suits and ties, and we liked it very much. And from there I did that for 4 years, so I learned everything there. And then I got a job at the Scheveningse Krant in Scheveningen. Bought my first apartment there in Scheveningen, next to the Koerhuis, like 100 meters from the sea. It was really nice. And worked there for about 5 years, I think. And then the Scheveningse Krant was sold. They also run another paper. It's called don't even know that anymore.
Does it still exist?
I think it still exists. Yeah, it was run in the Staatskwartier area and surroundings. And I also worked on a paper in the Haagse Hout. It's called the Haagse Houtjournaal. Still exists as well. And then it was sold, and then I thought, we have to do something with expats. Nobody did that before. And I tried it, like I said before, and it all went quite fast.
But for you, actually moving to The Hague has been based on the job or the
on the
business.
Job. And I had a girlfriend
For love.
for love as well. I didn't end up with her, so.
But you stayed.
I stayed. A lot of people ask me why you're not going back to Amsterdam, and I said no, I like it here. It's a nice neighborhood. You have everything here.
That's also the conversation about a good place. Like, what are the factors for you that makes The Hague a good place?
You have everything close by. City center is really, really nice to go to. I'm like 7 minutes from the beach. You can get a bike, go everywhere, like really, really quick. There's a lot of green where I live. That's what I like, and I just like the international look and feel of the city. You see so many different nationalities, and something that I really like. Yeah.
Do you notice that others, the people you meet within the expat community, also share those same kind of values? Is it more than just a job why they come here?
Yes and no, I think. Most of the time when they come over, some expats come here for like a year, do their thing, maybe work reliable or whatever, and then they go back. But I also have families that are coming over here that are really planning to stay here for 4 or 5 years, but most of the time they have jobs like at an embassy or whatever. So it's a combination, I think.
And do you think that there's always this thing about expats, right? Like, are you an expat or are you an international or are you a local? So when are you a local and when are you an expat and that kind of conversation?
No, it's I always get the questions from everything has been paid for by the company for expats. That's what you hear. If they work for Shell, everything's been paid for, but that's not the case. It's only certain embassies that do that, big companies, but there's also expats coming over here just to do their own thing, and they have to pay everything for themselves. So that's not really true.
That's like a misconception.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like 7-8 years ago, Shell had a lot of expats working for them, and that's getting less every year. So, it's not the case that everything's been paid for always. That's something when people hear the word expat, they have this for free and that for free, but that's not true.
Plus, I mean, you're in that business. Yeah. You also see that the renting prices are also like.
Yeah, it's crazy at the moment. It's crazy. Yeah. For example. We run a building with 96 studios, furnished studios, from 30 square meters up to 50. They're all furnished. Minimum price for the 30 square meters, 1,100 euros. We have 96. They're completely fully booked at the moment. If I put one online now, I get like 50 mails. I have parents from expats that ring me up. I pay a year up front. I pay a double deposit. There's nothing here at the moment. It goes really fast. Even with more expensive apartments. Just this week we had like 4 new ones. Put them online, and in 2 days' time I had like 200 mails. It's crazy. It's absolutely.
But then you also see that there is not. Of course, you rent it out to expats, but you can also rent it out to locals. But it's getting even harder for locals to.
Yeah.
So it also not comes really. I would say. It's typically Dutch saying. I think that it's hard for them just to get a normal rental.
Yeah,
apartment.
It is. Yeah, Dutch people. For Dutch people, it's really difficult. That's why they have these new rules. Because sometimes you have people applying for apartments that have a really high income, and that's why Hugo de Jonge came up with some rules. Yeah. Unfortunately. I understand it a little bit, but it also makes it different for for private investors to rent out more properties and to buy more because of the new rules. Everything works with points nowadays. So I understand the rule for if you have a high income and you're applying for an apartment that is like cheap. Because then the locals don't have a chance for an apartment. So that's why I understand it, but it also makes it a bit difficult.
Yeah, it's a bit like the gray zone because I also think, I know it in my street, for example, that there are some ground like floor apartments that are so highly priced at the moment that you only know it's targeted to expats.
Yeah.
But it's almost not feasible for locals to pay.
No, that's true. That's true. For example, now I have an apartment, ground floor, 200 square meter apartment at the Van Beveningstraat.
Yeah.
Beautiful. In the heart of the Staatskwartier area where everybody wants to live. Yeah. You're paying a premium price, almost 4,000 euros a month, excluding all your utilities. So,
which are for some people just a salary.
Yeah. Yeah, a big salary as well. Yeah. So,
a modest salary.
Yeah, no, that's true. So, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult.
Is it difficult for you to play that game at times?
Yeah, it is. It is because when I publish a cheaper apartment online, I also get a lot of reactions from Dutch people, of course. But a lot of private owners from properties, they prefer expats.
Because they go.
Yeah.
And otherwise you're stuck to them for the rest.
Normally.
You never know when they're gonna leave.
True. Yeah. So I understand that, but it makes it difficult for locals. So
It also changes the scenery of a city, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it changes the scenery of neighborhoods.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think in Staatskwartier, for example, 40-45% of people that live there are expats, and it's getting even higher. Yeah. They are willing to pay premium prices for even for buying properties at the moment. Yeah. If they know they're gonna stay here for 3-4 years, they buy. Yeah.
Because it's a good investment.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially in the good neighborhoods, they know they're gonna sell it again. Yeah, it's really popular.
It also seems that there's no way back.
No, I don't. No.
I don't see that changing.
No, me neither. No, that's.
So Staatskwartier will never be the Staatskwartier as it was ever before, like 10-20 years ago.
No. It's really a big difference. For example, if you go to Den Haag Zuid or whatever, it will never go back. It will always be popular. Yeah. For example, where I used to live, my neighbors, they bought their house for the same price as I did like 13 years ago, and they got double money for it. Double money. It's crazy. Yeah. So but it's just how the market is at the moment. Yeah.
But that's also not your definition of a good place, right?
No.
Like pay a lot of rent so you can live somewhere.
Of course not. No, you need a good place is a place where you feel happy. For example, I go to France a lot. I like that country a lot. When I drive through France, I always have a feeling of coming home. Okay. And I think that's what you should have in your city as well. Yeah. If I come back from holiday and I drive on the A12 and I come back in The Hague, I always have like, I'm home. Yeah, it gives me a good feeling. Yeah. As long as you have that, then I think you're in a happy place. Yeah.
But I hope that home feeling doesn't get destroyed by the bill, the rent that you have to pay every month.
No, that's true. I think buying is always better than renting, but some people they just come here. For example, that project that I do, it also has a short stay function. So that means that when we first started there, they could rent like an apartment for a minimum of 3 months, which was ideal for a lot of people because they have a project for 3 or 4, and then they just leave again after 4 months. So makes flexible for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's still like do these expats really connect with the city, like The Hague, or?
I think when they stay here for a longer period, they do. But I doubt if they do if they only stay here for like 6 months.
Yeah.
They do their thing. Maybe they connect in the weekends when they go out and go to social places. But
Do you have a lot of Dutch friends that actually connect a lot with expats and internationals?
a few, because but most of the time these friends are renting out places to expats. Yeah, because they know it's a good
Nice.
business.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. So that's their connection. And a lot of my friends, they work in expat areas and live there. So I think 8 out of 10 they have like expat neighbors. Yeah.
But I think with your newspaper, then it's a nice gesture to at least try to help expats to get closer to locals and of what's happening.
Yeah, because I also publish a lot of things where they can meet each other. You have, like, for example, the American Women's Club, South African Women's Club. They don't know that when they come here. So if they can read that somewhere.
Are there also clubs where you can meet locals? Like,
Otherwise,
otherwise, they'd be like so stuck in their own bubble a bit.
yeah, that's what I thought in the beginning. Because it's nicer if they meet Dutch people somewhere as well. But what I saw in the beginning is that they really trying to find people of their own country first, and then they go from there. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you been an expat?
No.
Have you lived abroad?
No, I didn't. No. No, I lived only in Amsterdam and in The Hague, and then in a small village for a year, and that's it. Yeah.
What other city abroad would be your other good place? In France?
To live, you mean? I like Milan a lot. I've been there a couple of times. I've been to Stockholm, I think 4 or 5 times, which is a beautiful city. Really clean, really nice people, beautiful people, hardworking people. That's always cities that I love to go back to. But if I would live there, I don't know. I always prefer to go back to The Hague. Yeah.
The Hague is where the home is.
Yeah. For me it is. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little bit of Amsterdam, of course. Yeah, I still have family there. My girlfriend lives there. My parents live there. They're quite old now, but they still live there. My brother lives there. So still have a lot of friends there. So yeah.
I think we're getting disturbed by some gardeners. It's funny. It's like, Michiel, you're the first Dutch person sitting on my bench. But every time I'm hosting this podcast in a public bench, there's always something happening.
Yeah.
It's becoming a running gag now.
Yeah.
So now it's the gardener.
Now it's the gardener, couple of things.
But this beautiful green city has to be, of course, be well taken care of. Huh?
Yeah, true. It has to be maintained, huh? Yeah.
And we're all contributing to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there a final thing that you would like to share with the viewers, the listeners, about a good place, some advice about coming here, or I don't know, like perhaps when they look for a good place in The Hague, what is it you like to share with them?
That's a difficult question. If I were them, I would come to The Hague. I can recommend it a lot. It's lovely to be here. You have everything you need here. You can enjoy the city center. You have a lot of clubs, nice restaurants where you can go to. It's something I like really much. But even if you want to move out of the city, go a weekend away, or you're on the highway in a couple of minutes,
And don't forget to pick up a copy of the Local Expat to start to know exactly what's happening this week and weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Or online. I have a new website. All the articles that I publish in my paper are also online. Weekly I get new stuff that I put online as well, so they can find everything there. Yeah.
We'll make sure to drop a line right here,
Yeah.
so people can actually check it out whenever they're, if they're in The Hague or whether they're in The Hague.
Yeah, perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Michiel, for your time. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Shake hands, shake hands. Thank you everyone for watching and listening for another episode on A Public Bench. Looking forward to our next, who knows where, in which city and in which bench. Stay tuned, subscribe and follow us. And this is Robin, and we'll talk soon. All the best. Bye bye.